Bruce's big call Dinar Intel Thursday night February 13, 25. Listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Bruce's big call Dinar Intel Thursday night February 13, 25. Transcribed by Wiser, now emailed to recaps. Welcome everybody to the big call tonight. It's Thursday, February 13th, and you're listening to the big call. Thanks for tuning in again. Everyone, all of you guys that are getting this call out there internationally from the satellite with the SAT team using the Starlink satellite system. Thank you for the let's call it tens of millions of you that are catching this call live right now in your own language, all around the globe. So thank you for that. Great to have you on board. Let's get into Intel segment. Let's start with our bondholders. We heard that bondholders' funds to their accounts are moving. And starting sometime yesterday or last night, and are continuing to be placed into bondholder accounts, also intermediary accounts and so on. So that's happening now, and that's working to where bondholders have been notified by email that they should have access to those funds in their account on Saturday. So that's what 2 days away from today, they should have access to funds on Saturday. Let's go back and see where we stand in Tier 4A and B. Tier 4A, we tend to call the Admirals groups. Tier 4B called the Internet group. Wells Fargo knows it as Tier 4, and they don't distinguish that somebody has used the term Tier 4 group, which is kind of the combination of A and B, they're calling it Tier 4 group. So we heard early this morning that we would be starting in a couple of days, and then as it worked through the day into the afternoon, the intel got a little bit better and a little bit more precise in terms of our timing. So we move on through and we've heard from different sources, about 4 or 5 different sources that came in with very similar information, and the overall consensus is that we're to be. Okay, let's back up one sec. This is specifically to be the Tier 4B, the Internet group, that it was activated at noon today, on Thursday the 13th of February, Tier 4B was activated. Now that means it's ready to be started or ready for us to receive notifications. Okay, so that's good, and that started today. While we're talking about what happened today at 1 o'clock this afternoon, 1 o'clock today, the NESARA funds started going out, and I'm calling this aspect of NESARA funds our reclamation, restitution allowance, or let's call it restitution and reconciliation allowance. That's another R&R that I sort of use occasionally. R&R funds. It looks like have started going out a day at 1 p.m. 2 months dire need that they're aware of, meaningful it's dire need. I don't know how many people. I don't know where it started or anything other than that, but know that the R&R funds have begun, and I think for us in that is part of the Internet group when we go in or into our redemption centers for core appointments to exchange currencies and to redeem our ZIM. When we go in, our R&R should be in our quantum accounts. In other words, it should be placed in our quantum account. All we'll need to do to see it and to gain access to it is activate our quantum card. You guys remember how we're going to do that very quickly. Biometric fingerprint, new username and password, 5-digit PIN code, brand new email and new email password, boom boom boom. That's what you need to get into and activate your quantum card. Did I mention the biometrics? No, I didn't. Biometric, fingerprint or thumbprint. Either one should be kept and essentially held in one of 3 computer chips in this quantum card. Okay, you don't lose that card. You keep it very safe. You don't carry it around with you. It's only used to move funds from the quantum account to your Wells Fargo, in my case, Wells Fargo primary account or secondary accounts, and move it to the bank account. And as of, I believe, was yesterday, banks can no longer willy-nilly look into and track our accounts. They can't see the money that's in our accounts, because I'm going to say as of today, not yesterday, but either way, we are now in a process of being no longer mirrored in a quantum financial account, but our funds in our bank accounts, already, in the quantum financial account, in our quantum bank accounts. That's something that is taking place now, because, as we speak, they are activating the fintech system, which is connected to the QFS, the Quant Financial System. And this Starlink satellite system of the part of the fintech system is the QRP digital coin, or token currency, that is used and is being used to back our USTN, our United States Treasury note money, or new USN currency. So the whole thing is coming together now, where we are for the first time, fully integrated now into the quantum financial system, which is happening now around the world. Now, will it take very long for it to be fully, let's call it, acclimated? I don't know how long it's going to take down the globe, but I do know that now we are no longer mirrored. But our accounts are actually part of the quantum financial system, and I like the idea that the XRP is being used to back the value of our currency, and it's being introduced and held through the fintech system. It's complicated, and I think I understand the concept of it, but it's definitely something that's pretty cool now. So that happened today, that activation, if you will, of the QFs with the fintech. So what is going on now? Alright, let's go back and see where that puts us now. We know what that is. The next thing that we're hearing was that we heard from a couple of different sources in 2 days. We got that last night. Then we heard today, as of noon, today. Remember what happened at noon? You know we will get started in 24 hours with notifications, so we can look for our notifications probably as early as around lunchtime tomorrow, Friday, 14, which is Valentine's Day. Now here's the thing, we know Redemption Center staff. Some may go in early, so we know the leaders are going in at 10 o'clock in the morning into redemption centers. We know that the rates have come up on the screens, but we also know that the rates are fluctuating, trading back and forth at a very high rate of speed right now. But as it keeps trading through the night and into tomorrow, it will probably settle in. If not tomorrow, it should settle in on Saturday. Which brings me to the next piece of intel that we received from a US Space Force contact that said that we would be exchanging and talking about Tier 4B, those of us in the internet group. We will be exchanging, according to this source, no later than Saturday, which remember, Saturday is the 15th of the month. Now, the last source that we heard from was saying that we would be notified tomorrow, and exchanging starting Saturday. So the last two sources agreed on the start date of Saturday, even though the other ones were leading up to that. These two were saying that we would be getting notified tomorrow, could be around lunchtime. Around noon, could be a little before, could be a little later around noon, and then set our appointments tomorrow for starting Saturday, okay. And that means that we also would go through the weekend, set appointments for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, for 2 weeks. It looks like we're exchanging for at least 2 weeks. Some areas of the country will go 19 days of exchanges. Some areas of the country will go 6 or 7 days. It just depends on how many courtesy holders are living in those areas, and whether or not ZIM holders, which they want ZIM holders. In first guys, they want the ZIM holders because the value of the ZIM is so great, and we will absolutely hydrate the banks again. We are the ones that are bringing the value back to the banks, where they will have the funds that we take from our quantum account and put into our bank accounts that will help the banks to reach a certain level of liquidity. So we've got bondholders to receive their liquidity in their accounts and have access to it on sometime on Saturday. And we have ourselves getting notified tomorrow to set appointments to exchange starting Saturday, in which case we will also have our liquidity. But our liquidity, for the most part, is being put on a credit debit card. You take the quantum account, we move funds from the quantum account after our currency exchange. And the ZIM is redeemed, all of it goes into quantum account, draws no interest. It's a safe space for money. Then you can move the first 6 months, no, I'm gonna say the first 60 days, you'll move a smaller amount of your total, if you're a ZIM holder, millions, billions. And so maybe a few $1 billion into your primary bank account there. You spend it off using credit debit card. Obviously, you can get checks for your account or you can wire your funds if you have a large amount. That's not practical to send any other way but a bank wire, and those bank wires are essentially very quick moving these days. Let's see. That gives the timeline. It really started today at noon with the activation for Tier 4B, and I believe we're going alongside, in parallel, to the Admirals groups and everything that would be considered for a Tier 4A. So we know that the Admirals, considered a private group, started being paid out yesterday, and more were going to be paid out today. Probably more would be paid out for a period of 2 or 3 days. So if you're in the Admirals group, you should be looking for an email to confirm the funds, and in my opinion, unless you didn't put very much with the Admiral at all, but if you put any ZIM or anything of any size with the Admiral, you would get an email that we asked you, yeah, the funds are in your quantum account, just like we're going to have our funds placed into a quantum account. Since they've already ponied up their currency with the Admiral years ago, some of them 810 years ago, that means that those funds in the exchange value should go into the quantum account. Then they access their funds from quantum just like we would, by activating brand new quantum card and then moving those funds into their bank account. Okay, So that's really a parallel thing that we're going to see with us. Now bondholders get access to their funds on Saturday. Those of us who get exchanged on Saturday have access to our funds on Saturday, and can move some and spend some with our credit debit card with Wells Fargo, and then, of course, you can move and have up to 3 different banks attached to your Quantum card. Okay, I'm going to keep everything with Wells to start with, and see how they treat me, and see if I want to keep it all there, or I want to diversify into 2 or 3 banks. So the onus is on Wells to perform for us, and I think they will. I think they want to keep as many customers that can with them. So let's see how they do the wealth management. Private bankers work with us. They're actually called Premier Bankers, Premier because we're Premier customers with them. Alright, so that's really what I wanted to say tonight. Let's see if there's anything else that comes up. Alright, let's see what else. I think that is pretty much good, except one other possibility. These numbers come out like I've been told tomorrow, and we start setting our appointments. And we start going on Saturday. Will we have a celebration call? We might record a celebration call tomorrow. We might just be in a position where the 3 of us can record a celebration call sometime tomorrow. So I'd say now, when that happens, when we record it, remember what it does to recording that we're on tonight. It supplants this recording. It moves it out of the way, as if it were a regular dupu. So just be aware of that. If you're somebody who listens to the recording and you want this recording tonight, make sure that you listen to it. Make sure you have it, because tomorrow it could get removed. If we do a celebration call, alright, so that would be a short call. 20 minutes, 30 max, 20 to 30 minutes, and then we wait for us to celebrate and let you guys know that everything's done. When we're going to send that out, as soon as we can, probably have the 800 number posted on our website as well. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see if everything happens like I say. This is our last live call. So I want to thank everybody in Big Call Universe that student did listen to me. Bob Fauci, over the last 10 years, those of you who have listened to just me and a few other people in the past, over the last start of 14 years. So thank you guys. A lot of you guys have been faithful listeners since the very first call on December 2011. That's right, call. And we started with 300 people, and the next week there were 900 people. And then it grew from there. Now we're hitting, and well, 18 and 24 million listeners are on the globe because of the Starlink satellite system and the satellite team. They hooked all that up for us. Great. Thanks those out to the SAT team, and you know who you are, for putting this together for us where we can be reached and heard all over the globe. In so many different languages, translates it to their particular language around the globe, which is a great benefit. And thank you, Sue, for your success, health, cannabis and love that you bring to the big call. And thank you, Bob, for everything that you've brought and the building for you to handle the set up the board. And handle everything, and just all of the valuable nutritional information, health information, everything that you very valuable company with boomers that we just love. Pay attention if we move forward and set our appointments Saturday, and we ought to be able to do a celebration call and record it for you so you can have that all right. Well, thanks everybody. Everybody, have a great night. Sleep tight and look for tomorrow. Alright, let's pay the call out. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.